Today's topic is something very deep, something many women carry silently for years. It's a heaviness that rises unexpectedly, sometimes from a single memory, a photo, a notification, or even the simplest thing like seeing someone recommended on a social media list. It is the pain of comparison, but not comparison with strangers. Comparison with a sister. A comparison shaped in childhood. A comparison created long before you even understood what comparison was. And behind this comparison, there is an even deeper root. The father wound. Carl Jung spent much of his life studying how early experiences with our parents shape the unconscious parts of our personality. He taught that the father, whether present or distant, creates a kind of inner father image that influences how we see ourselves, how we feel about our worth, and how we believe others see us. When a father gives one daughter warmth, attention, and admiration, but gives another daughter only small drops of attention, the child who received less doesn't grow up thinking, "My father failed me." She grows up thinking, "Something must be wrong with me." This becomes the beginning of an inner story. I matter less. I'm not as lovable. I'm less special. I need to work harder to be seen. I should shrink so I don't bother anyone. And when a sibling is favored, the message becomes sharper. She is the star. She is the chosen one. She is the one who deserves love. And I'm the one who must understand, tolerate, adjust, and accept. This is not jealousy. This is childhood survival. This is the inner child trying to make sense of something she never caused. As Jung would say, emotional wounds do not age. The inner child remains the same age she was when the wound happened. So today, when you see something related to your sister, a photo, a message, even a random TikTok suggestion, it doesn't trigger your adult self. It awakens the little girl inside you, the one who was waiting to be seen, the one who wondered why she wasn't enough, the one who watched her sister shine while she quietly hoped that one day someone would notice her to adopt this heaviness you feel now. It is not weakness. It is not immaturity. It is not envy. It is the wounded child stepping forward and saying, "I am still here. I still need healing." So let's talk about healing. Let's talk about how to integrate this wound so it no longer controls the present. The first step is awareness. Jung said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Right now, the comparison feels automatic. It feels powerful. It feels like something that happens to you. But every time you pause and say, "This is an old story. This feeling belongs to the past, not to my worth today," you are turning the unconscious into the conscious. And that alone weakens its power. The second step is inner child compassion. Not the kind of compassion that dismisses or silences the feeling, but the kind that says, "Of course you're hurt. Of course this triggers you. You went through something unfair. You grew up in a system where love was not evenly given. Your reactions make sense. Your inner child doesn't need you to be strong. She needs you to be present. She needs you to be the father she never had. Protective, kind, validating, and consistent." Sometimes healing looks like closing your eyes and saying gently to yourself, "I see you. I know this hurts. You did nothing wrong. You were always worthy. I am here for you now. The third step is separation. Not separation from your sister, but separation from the old narrative that ties your worth to her existence. You and your sister were raised in the same house, but lived entirely different emotional lives. Her shine was not because she was better. Her shine was because your father projected something onto her that he could not offer you. And Jung teaches us that parents often choose favorites, not because of the children, but because of their own wounds, fears, and unresolved shadows. Your father's inability to value you had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with his own limitations as a human being. You did not fail to be loved. He failed to love equally. And now, the adult version of you must gently step out of the old triangle. Your path is not her path. Your worth is not measured beside hers. Your identity is not defined by what she received or what you didn't. The fourth step is integration. Integration means you stop fighting the feeling and start listening to it. When the heaviness rises, instead of pushing it away, sit with it briefly and ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Which younger version of me is speaking right now? What does she need to feel safe and valued? Integration turns the wound from an enemy into a guide. The fifth step is self-reparenting. This is the heart of Jungian healing. Reparenting means you become the stable figure your father wasn't. You speak to yourself with the voice that was missing. You protect your heart instead of abandoning it. You choose environments where your presence is valued. You set boundaries that prevent old dynamics from repeating. You give yourself the recognition you have been waiting for. Every act of self-kindness becomes a drop of the love you didn't receive. And over time, those drops become a river. The sixth step is conscious disengagement from triggers. This doesn't mean avoidance. It simply means giving yourself permission to not expose your heart to what still hurts until you feel stronger. If TikTok suggestions or photos trigger you, it's okay to take a step back. Healing isn't about forcing yourself into pain. It's about moving at a gentle, honest pace. The seventh step is rewriting the identity, because beneath the wound, beneath the story, beneath the comparison, there is a woman who has strength, wisdom, depth, and beauty that were never acknowledged in childhood. Your sister was noticed, but you learned how to survive without being noticed, and that gave you qualities she never developed: resilience, independence, intuition, empathy, inner strength, depth of spirit. Your story did not make you less. It made you more. So let me ask you gently, when you think of the younger version of you, the one who stood quietly in the shadow while your sister received the praise, what is one thing you wish someone had told her back then? Leave your reflection in the comments. And another question: what part of this journey are you ready to heal today? Your voice matters here. Your story matters. And sometimes healing begins not with answers, but with being heard. If this message touched your heart, take a moment to subscribe for more Jung-inspired reflections. And share this video with someone who might be carrying a similar wound. You never know whose heart you might comfort. Thank you for being here. And remember, healing doesn't happen by force. It happens by presence, compassion, and a gentle return to the self that was always worthy, always lovable, and always enough.